Hi, I'm Evelyn Carr, life trainer and motivational coach, and I've made hundreds, literally hundreds of videos helping people get out of fibromyalgia, absolutely horrible disease. I'm a transformational coach, so I work for the transformation in any area, but let's say I specialize also in fibromyalgia because I too had the disease many years ago, and I cured myself. I created a program and I cured myself in 6 months. Of absolutely horrible disease, which I had from 2005 until I was diagnosed in 2011, and in 2011 I healed, and I created a program helping other people get out of it. Now, I'm not here to talk about fibromyalgia today or how to get out of fibromyalgia, because my message is bigger than that now. It's bigger than that, because in studying how much resistance there was that I found in people as I helped them get out of fibromyalgia with my program, I stumbled across what is really what I consider and what I've called the matrix of pain, the matrix of human pain. When we think about pain, happiness, self-realization, and motivation, where are the driving forces? Why is it so difficult for so many people to have the lives that they really desire? Well, in studying the resistance that people had in first starting to work for themselves and helping themselves get out of the disease, and then during, and also after, I discovered how much the human being is programmed, literally programmed for pain, programmed to accept it, actually programmed also to be in disbelief when there is no pain, emotional, physical pain in our lives. Now, I went on and I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and I knew that people could get out of fibro. And actually, as of now, I have hundreds of people who, with much determination and much work, are out of fibro. But that's not the big news here, okay? The big news here is, why was it so difficult for everyone to work for themselves? Now, fibromyalgia is a disease, and I don't want to talk about the disease. I want to talk about the mechanisms in why it was so difficult. But it is a disease where modern medicine cannot cure it. It's a disease where only human effort, personal effort for oneself, can help oneself get out of fibromyalgia. I mean, you know, I have a whole totally natural program where people deep breathe, they meditate, they walk, they stretch, and they handle stress, and also a dietary program. You know, I'm not a nutritionist, but I did discover a program where certain foods were eliminated and other foods avoided for a period of time, so the body can detox totally, even down to drinking lots of water. I mean, there are lots of things you can do to get out of fibro. It's a complex disease in itself, but the incurability of the disease comes from what a person is willing to do for themselves. Now, if you don't know about the disease, it's a disease that has about 100 and more symptoms. It can produce about 100 and more symptoms, and I had about 110. I was very, very, very sick and very weak, and I was willing to do just about anything. And I was also willing to create this program and do it until the end. This is something I did not find in other people. And I kept studying why. I wanted to know why. Why was it that the disease was so overwhelming? It was so terrible. And I was telling people exactly what they should do to get out of it. And they actually all started healing. I mean, everybody. They just started healing. And as they started healing, they started resisting. Something that really hurt my heart when I saw it. It was the first 3 or 4 times, and then the first 10 times, and then the first 50 times, and then 100 times. And I kept saying to myself, but there's something more here. I will not let people resist their own well-being and slide back into, stop doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then slide back into the disease. I will not accept this. This is unacceptable. I told people, I said, accepting pain is unacceptable, and not accepting the fact that you can be free is also unacceptable, and that we can all lead a life without pain, physical and emotional pain. But there are so many factors, there were so many factors in ACT that it was very difficult for them to understand. So I kept pushing, and I kept thinking, and I kept analyzing, and I kept studying. What is it that makes this resistance so great? And you know, people would say to me, well, you know, I feel totally better. The pain is gone, the symptoms are gone, and I don't feel like myself anymore. I'm in disbelief. This can't be. And then the troubles well, the troubles were already there because they were resisting. I find that people have they've resisted from the beginning. And there's so much resistance. There's so much resistance in even confronting the disease. For, you know, first in the beginning, people are afraid of the disease. And then they're afraid of, they can't make it. But the real illumination, the real mental aha moment, it came when I saw so many people getting out of the disease and then systematically doing things, knowing, because with my training, cognitive training and behavioral training and therapy, they know exactly what they should not be doing, and then they do it. And so I thought, on a larger scale, this is human nature. This is, everyone is doing this. This is what is making motivation so difficult. What is making self-realization so difficult. You know, it seems like now that there are coaches for everything. Why? Because there are people who are really lost in their lives. There's so many people who are lost in their lives, and they are lost in their own type of pain. You know, and that's what I want everyone to see here, that fibromyalgia is like being in a maze. It's like being in a labyrinth. It's really a maze. It's a maze of pain. It's a maze of your fears, your negative thoughts, your way of thinking about yourself that needs to change, your way of thinking about life that needs to change. But I like to make people think. People who do not have fiber, I like to make them think. And I say, if your hurts, your fears, your rage, your frustration, your stress became physical pain in you in this present moment, would you still be standing? Would you still be on your feet? Would you be howling in pain? And, you know, a lot of people that do not have fibro, they look at me and they go, one woman told me, she said, I would probably explode into little pieces. They tell me, no, I would be on the floor, or I'd probably be limping, or I'd probably be hurting, you know? And now fibromyalgia is not just your emotional pain, but it's a totally different disease. But to get out of fibro, because you inflame yourself, with chemical imbalance created by an overproduction of cortisol and other stress hormones, but you have to deal with anything that could possibly upset you or is possibly not going right in your life. And so therefore the big dilemma is you have to be willing to work for yourself. I mean, but work for yourself really hard, and work for yourself to get yourself totally to a better place, emotionally, physically. You have to think of the future with no fear. You have to think of the past with no rage, you know, and how many of us are willing to do that? Well, fibromyalgia definitely puts you to the test, because that's what you have to do to get out of it. And also change your food plan. How many people are eating not the way they should be for stress or for maybe inner rage? You know, things like that have to be totally turned over and addressed. You know, so what happens is if you have this disease of pain and hundreds of symptoms, and you're not willing to invest in yourself, then I say, well, if people who don't have fibromyalgia and are living lives where they're just accepting pain, they're accepting bad relationships, they're accepting that the future is going to be dismal, they're accepting that they probably can't change things in their lives, they're accepting that they're maybe not eating well or overeating or not eating at all, starving themselves. You know, I mean, if you think about it, and you think about it, how many people are accepting pain, emotional or physical, not doing anything about it? You know smoking is bad for you and you don't stop. You know being overweight is bad for you, for your heart, for your bones, and you don't think of yourself and eat. And I thought about it, and why is that we are so disconnected from ourselves and so programmed for pain that we accept the unacceptable? Marriages, bad marriages for us, and we accept it. Not for years, but for many years. Or we accept things that should not be accepted. Well, I discovered what I call the matrix of pain. The matrix of pain is so many subliminal levels of us as human beings being programmed for pain that we don't even contest it. We don't even refuse it. We don't even notice it. That's probably the saddest part, is we accept it as life and we don't understand that we are fully empowered to do something about it. I am making a documentary called Stop World Pain. I'm also writing a book, a new book now, called The Matrix of Pain. And The Matrix of Pain is not for people with fibromyalgia on how to get out of fibromyalgia. I've done that already. There's a strategic program for that. But this is The Matrix of Pain, is why people do not actively refuse pain in their lives. Because if we were programmed as human beings to refuse pain in our lives, first of all, for me, the disease fibromyalgia would not exist. It would totally not exist, because there are many things that I've told people to do for years, and every time I say, well, you can change up your eating habits. Oh, well, I could never do without that food. You can walk. Well, it rains a lot in my area, or there's a lot of smog, and I can't do that. I started walking, hunched over, holding myself onto a building as I walk by, and I walk for 3 minutes. And when I start my program, I have a DVD series program, and when I talk on the program, it's a live DVD series, and people tell me, they say, well, what is 3 minutes? What is that going to do? The optimum is 20 minutes of walking a day. And I said, you're not training your body, you're training your mind. You have to train your mind to want to go out every day and walk for yourself for 3 minutes. Those 3 minutes are important. Yes, you are getting your body slightly stronger, your lungs, you know, because when you do have fibromyalgia, I couldn't walk for many days at a time, and you are very weak. You can be very weak. So those 3 minutes are for your body, but basically it's for your mind. Every day, work for yourselves. So if we take this out of the context of fibromyalgia and we put it into the context of everyone working for themselves, for their well-being every day, it becomes enormous. It becomes enormous. And I truly believe that by understanding fibromyalgia, everyone will be able to better their lives. Everyone. Because what I want to do now is make people understand that everyone can learn from the lessons that are behind the resistance of people not wanting to work for themselves, not understanding the importance of health. I find that people really don't understand, they take for granted when they're in good health, and they sometimes push it to the limit, and then it becomes a problem, and then what we do is we want traditional medicine to fix it. Well, fibromyalgia is the disease that really only man himself can fix. And then you put to the test, can you work for yourself? Can you put yourself first? Can you do what's best for yourself every day? And if we take it out of the context of fibromyalgia, and I ask that question to everyone, there might be a moment when everyone says, well, probably not. How many of us have put so many other people, because that's just the way life is, you put so many people in front of you. Well, with fibromyalgia, you can't do that. And not only with fibromyalgia can you not do that, but my point is, the matrix of pain makes it so that this is what everyone does. Or if we do put ourselves first, we don't really understand the concept of well-being. Well-being is not pills. Well-being is not someone else to help us. Well-being is understanding our bodies, understanding our minds, understanding our emotions, and really, really giving us what's best. Let's work at the root of the problem. Work at the root of the problems. Medicine does not go to the root of the problem. I don't need vitamins if I'm living stress-free. Stress creates oxidative stress and free radicals, and therefore I'm consuming more vitamins and I need more vitamins and I have to take them in that form. No, that's not what we should all be doing. What we should all be doing is we should all be buffering our lives from stress. And if we do adopt another lifestyle, we can avoid living off of vitamins. But also what fibromyalgia does is, you know, people, if they take a lot of vitamins during fibromyalgia, the body refuses that also. The body refuses so many things. Your body refuses food, it refuses medicine, it refuses vitamins, it refuses, I couldn't even use pepper. It refuses basically everything. I had multiple allergies where I only could eat 8 foods for 2 years. My body refused everything. And in that, our bodies have infinite wisdom, and it's telling us, our bodies are telling us what we need. Our minds are telling us what we need, but just as human beings, we're not listening because we are so programmed for pain and we are ignoring ourselves. So therefore, I don't want to make this video too long. I will be trying to explain these things to people in many other videos, but the matrix of pain is not to be underestimated because fibromyalgia is on the rise due to toxins, due to stress, there's a genetic predisposition for having it, but then it becomes activated in your DNA, and it becomes activated, and then you have it, and what might have been a few symptoms then become many symptoms and prolonged symptoms. So fibromyalgia is on the rise, but also what's on the rise is many, many, many people who are not taking the right road to their well-being. Let's not look for easy solutions. Don't look for easy solutions. I ask everyone, look around your life. What is bothering you? What is hurting you? Is your body hurting? Are you ignoring it? Are there things in your life that are not going right and you think that you have no power? Well, you do. So look around and understand that the pain that is not being addressed right now it creates disease in our bodies. It creates stress in our bodies. Now, it may not create fibromyalgia because you have to have that genetic predisposition, but we can create other diseases. So why get to the point of we have to deal with a disease when we can live disease-free, pain-free, if we start to take care of ourselves now? So realize when you are ignoring pain, don't do it. Okay? I will be making more videos on the matrix of pain. Actually, I'm writing the book on the matrix of pain because it is so complex. It is truly complex. And by discussing and by making everyone understand all the resistance that I discovered while I was helping people get out of fibro, it was absolutely unbelievable, the resistance in going to feel better, in doing things and leaving the disease. And it was really, when I will have the book finished, it will really be a revelation. And if we think about it in motivation, why do people procrastinate? Why is it so hard for us to actually believe in ourselves and get that project done? Or I work with many children who get to the end of university and then drop out, you know, where you're just right there, where you're just about to, you know, get your dreams and you don't. Why is that? Is that so prevalent? Or why do people not even take the road to win? You know, that's my new program is Programmed to Win, because obviously if you're in the matrix of pain, I want you to be programmed to win. So I have a new program called Programmed to Win, where I make people see exactly how they're programmed to fail, or programmed for pain, or programmed to accept pain. And if you see it, you can eliminate it. But a lot of times we're just not even looking. So please, please, do not accept pain. Physical, emotional, mental. But you have to understand also how to eliminate pain in your lives. The right way to eliminate pain in your lives. Get down to the root of it. And we change. We change our way of looking at life. We change from the inside out. It's never from the outside in. We don't need for our context to change. We need for ourselves to change. And change the way we think about body, mind, and spirit. A 360-degree approach is needed. I'm going to say goodbye now, and I truly, truly, truly believe that we can stop world pain. I truly believe it. I have programs for children, leadership programs for children, because I want them to grow up with their real, true sense of value and knowing the right way to conceive themselves in the world and think about themselves in the world as leaders of themselves, their own leaders, not as leaders, but their own leaders, you know, of well-being from the inside out, and not succumbing to negative influences around them or their negative mind chatter, you know. So please follow me on YouTube, and I wish you a pain-free life. Really. And we can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Okay? Goodbye.